That's where we begin. And when it comes to vaccinations, one of the rabbis, the Tiferes Yisrael, called Jenner, who opened up the door with God's help to the science of vaccination, called him one of the great righteous people of the world because he took smallpox away from the world. We live in a time where, by the grace of God and by God's great kindness, we don't have to deal with debilitating diseases that in previous generations were potentially a death sentence or a jailing of an individual. I was once speaking to someone, and to make a long story short, I was talking to him about the danger of nostalgia. He was telling me how when he grew up, he was my senior, and when he grew up, it was a much better time, it was a much more quiet time. It was a time you didn't have to lock your doors, and I said, that's true, and I'd love that. But somehow you sanitized out of that report that polio was rampant. And in the summer, if one kid on the block got polio, every other child got locked in the house. So it's very nice that you think a previous time was so much better, but the Pasuk in Mishlei says, don't play that nostalgic game, because it's a fantasy, because we sanitize reality and then we go there. Thank God we have vaccinations today. And yes, each of us has a responsibility not to injure another. If we were able to live in our own little bubble, then do what you want and then answer to God. But we don't live in a bubble. So when you have a cold and you sneeze and you don't cover your nose, you don't cover your mouth, you're responsible for making someone else sick. If you don't vaccinate, that's your shtick. Personally, I think if you don't vaccinate, you really need to be seen by a mental health professional. And if it's because you think it causes autism, grow up. It's a fake. It's a lie. It doesn't happen. But what about the rest of us? What about the fact that you have a responsibility to live in society? You want to go into a cave and live by yourself? Go! I'll deliver the food, no problem. But the rest of us, you have to live within a society. And vaccination is an inherent, important part of staying healthy. Because God forbid, if you cause for someone else to get sick, what are you going to say to God when He asks you, why didn't you do what was necessary to take care of yourself, which the Torah demands, and to take care of someone else?